Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we have this 2023 Ford Expedition Max, and we're going to do the side door chrome delete installation for this vehicle. So as you guys can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the side panels, and this is how it looks after the installation. So we use the gloss black material in order to black out the entire chrome panels. That way it matches the color of the vehicle. Link for the product will be provided below. But with that being said, let's start with the installation video. So before we start with the installation for the side panels, we need to make sure we prep them before we install the film to the panel. So you could use any type of cleaning solution that's safe to use on your vehicle. For this video, we're just using slip solution, which contains water and baby shampoo mixed together in a bottle. Once you have your solution, always spray it onto a clean microfiber towel. That way it's more easier to remove the contaminants, and also it's more faster to dry the panel that we're prepping. And then once you're done prepping the panel, make sure, like I mentioned, everything's dry. That way the adhesive on the film is able to tack down to the chrome. And don't forget about the back chrome. Okay, so when it comes to doing the installation for this vehicle, all we need to do is make sure we place the film touching the chrome and start by aligning it on this edge first. You're going to notice that it does have a small cutout here. That cutout is where this section of the mirror is located. Since the mirror does come down to where the chrome is, we just added that cutout. That way you're able to tuck in the film and align it inside. So just take your time when you're doing this on the alignment here. Just make sure you align it, tuck it inside, and you should be good. And then everything else should just fall into place, just like that. Grab the film, and then you could use the lower section as the guide to align the rest of the film, or you could keep it in the middle. Just make sure that you're covering the chrome on top. So preferably use the lower section as a guide to align the rest of the film. And if you need to lift it to readjust it, you can. Just take your time and you should be good. Once you've placed the film, grab your squeegee and start tacking down the entire panel. Make sure to remove all of the bubbles that you may encounter underneath the film. And once you finish tacking down everything, we're going to use our heat gun to help the film start molding to the design of the chrome panel that we're working on. And then once we apply heat, we're going to trim off the excess material. So you are going to notice for the edges, there's a slit design that cuts the top and the bottom piece and separates them. That one's made so we could wrap it around here and bring it inside to cover the chrome. You can also just trim it off if you just want it to cover up to the edge. So it's up to you. So once you finish tightening down, then we can apply heat. So use the heat gun, you can use the low setting, apply heat throughout the entire panel, and then once we're done, we'll trim off the excess material. So now all we need to do is just check and see where we have the excess material. You could create a small outline on the top area here. There is a gap in between the chrome and the inside here. Just create that gap and then just trim off the excess material. Another thing you can do, if it's just a little bit of excess material, just help it wrap around the chrome and make sure you apply enough heat, that way the chrome does not lift over time. So you have two options of going about the installation for this side here. So just whatever you decide, make sure to remove the excess material if you don't need it. So for example here, there's a good amount of excess material. Just carefully enter your blade and trim off the excess material. Lift it carefully and remove it, and just do the same for the edge here. And then just trim off anywhere else where you have excess material. And then the same steps that were done for this piece, you would repeat it for the rear door. The only difference is there's no mirror, so you won't need to adjust it anywhere. You would just start from the front edge here. So like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to installing the rear door, it's the same process as how we did it for the front. The only difference is we don't have a mirror. So just start it off on the edge. Make sure you align it to the curve. You could give yourself a little bit of more excess material. So you're going to see this section touching this piece of the front section that we worked on. That's perfectly fine. That way it covers the chrome. And just follow the lower section as a guide to align the rest of the film. Once everything's aligned, just repeat the same process. Squeegee everything, apply heat, and then trim off the excess material. so once you finish with the 2 panels for the door, now we're moving on to the section where the quarter window is located. So with this one, same process when it comes to the installation. Start off right on the edge. Just give yourself a little bit more material. That way it wraps around and covers the chrome on the inside of the door. So once you have it aligned here, same process, use the lower half as the guide in order to align the film. And with this one, you are going to notice that it does wrap around the back. Just follow through, same process, and then you would just trim off any extra material that you have on the rear, like how we did it for the other ones. So just lift the film and just finish aligning it to the rest of the panel until you reach it to the curved end here. Okay, same process now. Just grab your squeegee, start tagging everything down. Just help the film tag down and also remove any bubbles that may be behind the film. And once you finish tagging everything down, apply heat to help the film start molding to the design of the panel, and also apply heat on the curve. So with this section here, you are going to have excess material like I mentioned on the back end of the panel. With this one, you can either trim it off right here. If you want to cover the inside of the chrome, you could just apply a little bit of heat and then help it tack down around the curve, and then you would just trim off whatever is excess material. So it's completely optional to you if you just want to trim it here or from the inside, depending what you prefer. So let's say you do cover the edge here. There is just a small gap where you could enter your blade, and carefully trim off the excess material. Make sure to trim off everything, and then we will also need to trim off the excess material on top. So find the small gap, just follow the design of the gap, and you should reach it up to the edge here. So just start looking like this. Like I mentioned, you don't need this piece here. Trim it off and we should be good. And then you just trim off everything else on the top end, follow through where the quarter window is located, and then we should be good. And then we will move on to the last piece of the rear. Okay, so like I mentioned, if you have excess material on top, just create an outline right in the middle of the gap here. Enter your blade and just carefully trim off the excess material. You will do this for the entire film if you have excess material. And then just go all around to reach to the other end here. And just repeat the process all around, and then trim off on this side. If you want to trim it off, you can, or you can apply heat like how we did it on that end. Apply heat, help relieve the tension that the film has, cover it here, and then just bring this one inside to cover the rest. Okay, so for the last piece for the rear that's included for the side panel, you would just place the film and align it right on the edge. Give yourself a little bit more material to cover and wrap around the chrome on the inside if you want to cover it, and then just use the lower half as a guide to align the rest. It should sit perfect. So once you finish placing it, grab your squeegee, start removing all of the air. Same process, apply just a little bit of pressure. That way we help tack down the film, and then we'll add heat and then trim off any excess material. And then we're done. And then you would just repeat this whole process on the other side for the passenger side or wherever you need to finish. And then the last thing to do is to post heat. So the last thing to do once you finish with the entire installation for the side panel is to post heat each section that was installed. So all you need to do is grab your heat gun and start applying heat throughout the entire panel. You can use either the low or high setting. If you do use the high setting, just be careful not to get too close to the film where you might accidentally burn it. So just make sure you apply heat evenly throughout the entire panel. Take your time, and then once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the side Chrome Delete installation for the 2023 Ford Expedition Max. We hope that the video helped you guys out with the installation. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.